Got more updates for you guys on Tua Tagovailoa, and someone got fired. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, it is a late Saturday, but I was incredibly busy today, and I wanted to get all the information. There was a ton of information that came out today about Tua Tagovailoa and all that stuff. So I wanted to get all of that to you guys before I gave you everything that I'm going to say now. So I have a ton of updates on Tua Tagovailoa, on his physical health, the phases he needs to go through to get back on the field. News that came out about it. The NFLPA made statements. Someone got fired for it. One of the doctors got fired for it. There's been an update. Mike McDaniel came out, made statements. There's a lot that I'm going to get to. But as news comes to me, I'm going to give it to you so you guys are aware, understanding of everything that's going on, especially with Tua, if he's going to come back, when he's coming back, all that stuff. But yeah, we'll jump right into this. First off, Barry Jackson reported that nothing serious / alarming revealed, and further to a testing today, he is doing well. Yes, every head injury is serious, but nothing discovered in testing that would create new concerns about whether he should resume playing football. He'll need to progress through NFL's 5-step concussion protocol before being cleared to return. So today there was no, or this was yesterday, because I think today's the first. Yeah, this was yesterday where he was tested fine. Everything's good with his head. Nothing alarming, anything that will jeopardize his NFL career. That being said, again, if he wants to play again, which we all know, because again, I'll get to that because Mike McDaniel had a few things to say about that. He has to go through the 5 phases, and I'm going to tell you exactly what these 5 phases are. Phase 1 is symptom-limited activity. The player is prescribed rest, limiting, or if necessary, avoid activities that increase or aggravate symptoms. Under athletic training, staff supervision, limited stretching and balance training can be introduced, progressing to light aerobic exercises, all as tolerated. Number 2 is aerobic exercises. Under the supervision of the team, staff, players should be gradually cardiovascular exercises and may also engage in dynamic stretching and balance training. If the player demonstrates the ability to engage in cardiovascular exercises without an increase or aggravation of symptoms, they move on to the next phase. So essentially the first 2 phases are, they slowly bring him along. He's the stretching, he does exercises, he does aerobic exercises, cardiovascular exercises, essentially running and stuff like that. And if the symptoms don't pop up, or if he doesn't get headaches, or if he doesn't get dizziness, or any of those things don't pop up, then he can go to the next phase, which is phase 3, is a football specific exercise. The player continues supervised cardiovascular exercises that are increased and may mimic sport specific activities, and supervised strength training is introduced. So essentially at this point, he's probably throwing the football. He's probably doing, play action, rollouts, throwing the football. Again, adding that cardiovascular in, but he's also now throwing the ball. He's moving. He's doing all those things. And again, if he doesn't get dizziness, he doesn't get headaches, he doesn't get fatigue or anything like that, he goes to the next stage. And phase 4 is non-contact training drills. The player is encouraged to continue cardiovascular strength and balance trainings, team-based sports specific exercise, and participate in non-contact football activities. So this is walkthroughs, this is stuff like that, essentially OTA type stuff there. And again, if he goes through all this stuff, no symptoms pop up, he goes to the final phase. Phase 5 is a full football activity / clearance. The player is fully cleared by the club doctor for full football activity involving contact. The player must be examined by the independent neurologist assigned to his club. If the consult agrees with the club's physician that the player's concussion has been resolved, then that player can participate in practice and contact without restriction. So again, you pass phase 4, which essentially is like OTAs, non-contact drills, cardiovascular, and you're not seeing any symptoms, you got to stay, then you're done. All right, cool. Let's bring in the non-team neurologist. Let's see what he says. If he gives you clear, you're good to play. This is going to take a minute. So I'm already hearing Teddy Bridgewater is going to be playing versus the Jets. I'm fine with Teddy Bridgewater playing versus the Jets. that's what needs to happen there. So those are the 5 phases. Essentially, it's a slow process. He does a little work here, goes to the next phase. They add a little bit more work on. He goes to the next phase. They add a little bit more work on. They go to the next phase. Now he's doing team activities, but no contact. And then if he's good through all 4 of those phases, then he gets checked by the neurologist, and then he's good to go. So those are the phases. Yeah. But this also came out from Tom Pelissero because, again, this whole situation is very confusing to me, especially. Let me give you my timeline of events when it comes to this whole situation, right? We watched the Buffalo Bills game. We watched him stumble. And I'm thinking to myself, and I said it out loud, I got a lot of flack for it. You're being so negative, Doug. I'm like, that man has a concussion. He cannot walk on his own. He got pushed. He hit the back of his head. He has a concussion. And then all of a sudden they cleared him. He can come back out. What? I'm like, all right, because again, if 2 doctors, one being a team doctor, the other being an independent neurologist, cleared this man, they obviously know more than I do, and they obviously know how to check for concussions. And again, I've heard people say they will say whatever they will say whatever they need to say to get back on the field. And 100%, these football players will fight tooth and nail to get back on that field. But these doctors can tell, especially looking in someone's eyes, if they are concussed, especially concussed to the point where you cannot walk. So again, my initial reaction to him stumbling like that was, this guy's concussed. He has a concussion. He has a serious concussion. Because a lot of times when they bang their head, they might be out of it, or they might like kind of shake it like, and then try to keep going. But if you stumble like that, no, they shine the light in your eyes. They check for pupil dilation. If your pupils don't dilate when the lights shine in your eyes, that's a sign of concussion. They ask you questions, and while they're asking you questions, they're looking you in the eyes, because a lot of times, and again, I've had a serious concussion, you're not there, right? You can answer all the questions. What day is it? It's September 30th or October 1st. Today's October 1st when I'm recording this. But if I'm looking you in the eye and I'm asking you these questions and you're like, October 1st, you're concussed, my man. Like, you can answer the questions. Who's the president? Biden. Where are you? I'm in Buffalo, or I'm wherever. And you answer the questions right, but the doctor can look you in the eye and can tell if you're concussed or not. Like, it's these neurologists went to school for this. And again, this is where I'm coming from. My thought pattern for this whole situation has changed up and down, up and down, up and down, to the point where I don't know what's up and what's down right now. So again, I'm just telling you where I'm coming from mentally. So again, I'm like, this guy's concussed. He goes into the locker room. He comes back. He's good to go. He's pumping up the crowd. And then I'm watching him play. And I see him on the 3rd and 22 play. I see him making audibles. I see him rolling out. I see him making changes. And I'm like, he's not acting concussed, and he doesn't look concussed, and 2 doctors cleared him. I'm like, all right, well, obviously I took 2 semesters of anatomy and physiology. So I have like the smallest of smallest idea of what the medical field is. I have a mother who's a nurse. I have a wife who's a nurse who I talk about medical, but I am nowhere near qualified to assess any of this stuff. So if a doctor, and if 2 of them are saying he's good to go, he can play, then they know better than I do. They know better than everyone who's sitting on the couch watching this game. So I'm like, all right, play. We win, right? Then Tom Pelissero came out yesterday and said, speaking with Judy Battista on NFL Network, NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills says Tua Tagovailoa was checked for concussion symptoms every day since Sunday. Points out independent neuro expert had to clear him. Once review is done, full results will be released publicly. Again, the NFLPA and the NFL are looking into all this. But Dr. Alan Sills checked Tua Tagovailoa every day after that game. And if he had concussions, and if he had any concussion symptoms, and if he had any sign of a concussion, he would not have cleared him to play Thursday. So again, coming from my point of view, I'm like, okay, so then he wasn't concussed on Sunday. So maybe they weren't lying that the stumbling was a back thing and he was back spazzing, because like I said, I've also heard from you guys. I've also heard from back doctors giving their 2 cents saying that, yes, that could happen. So I'm like, Okay. So, all right. Obviously, if a doctor checks you 4 times and tells you you're fine, you're going to believe the doctor, right? Your eyes might say differently, but if a doctor comes and says, we checked you, you went through tests, you got an MRI, you got all this stuff, you're fine. Then I'm fine. Fast forward to Thursday and what happened Thursday, and now it comes out from ESPN today that the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant involved in clearing Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa during Sunday's game against the Bills has been fired after it was found he made several mistakes in his evaluation, according to ESPN and multiple reports. Cameron Wolf came out and said unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant are joint approved by the NFL and the NFLPA medical directors. NFLPA exercised its right to fire the UNC involved in Tua's concussion check based on its takeaways. Investigation ongoing. Report is expected to be public when completed. So now it's coming out that he was checked every day for the past 4 days, but then he is just fired because he made mistakes and he missed things. So now I'm like, what? So who am I supposed to believe in this? Because again, my initial response and my initial reaction was Tua's had a concussion. When he stumbled like that, I'm like, that man's got a concussion. We're not going to see him for at least 2 weeks. And then he comes trotting back out. And then for 4 straight days, he gets checked. He's A-OK. Gets another concussion on Thursday. A really bad one where he's carted off the field. And I'm sitting here like, huh? And then he gets fired. And I'm really like, and I've had people in the comment section say, Doug, you said it was a back thing. Stick to what you say. Don't flip-flop. I'm gonna take a little bit detour on this conversation about Tua Tagovailoa and his concussions. It's not flip-flopping when you get new information. It's not flip-flopping when you understand things. That's like me saying, oh, that cup of water is cold. That's a cold cup of water. And then I drink it and it's piping hot. And I'm like, nah, it's a piping hot cup of water. Don't flip-flop now. Can we stop? Can we just stop? You get new information, you learn new things, and then you find out the new information you learned is wrong, but then is it wrong? And then this is what I'm dealing with right now, because I'm trying to give you guys the information. I'm trying to give you, literally, this is what I do on my channel. I give you the information, I give you the facts, I give you my opinion, and I let you guys, base your own opinion off of the facts I give you. I'm giving you facts, and now I'm finding out the facts are a little faltered because a man is fired for several mistakes. Literally, he made several mistakes in his evaluation, according to ESPN. So now I'm giving you the information. Was Tua concussed on Sunday when he stumbled? Did Tua have symptoms of concussion throughout the week? Now this neurologist, the UNC, again, he's not with the Miami Dolphins. So a lot of people are putting their anger towards the wrong people. They think it's the Miami Dolphins did this and the Miami Dolphins pushed this because they need Tua to play. But like Cameron Wolf said, unaffiliated neuro consultants, the UNCs, are joint approved by the NFL and the NFLPA. And that's why the NFL and the NFLPA fired him, because he missed them, because this UNC is the guy who's in stage 5 of getting cleared. The UNC comes in who's not team affiliated, so there isn't any, bias of, we need Tua out there. We're losing these games without Tua. Can you just clear him? That's where the UNC comes in. So again, a lot of people are putting their anger towards the Miami Dolphins. Oh, the Miami Dolphins lied, and the Miami Dolphins are a crap organization. I had a Buffalo Bill fan in the comments section calling me a dirtbag because I root for the Dolphins. Are you want to go there? Because I'll give you a plethora of lists of things that the Buffalo Bills have done that are way worse. So again, the guy who wrongly assessed Tua and allowed Tua to play and gave Tua the green light is not part of the Miami Dolphin organization. Again, that's like a doctor saying to you, you're good to go 4 times. You're good to go. No, you're good to go. You can go play, or you can go swim. You can go swim, and then all of a sudden you have an asthma attack and you drowned. Well, the doctor said my lungs are fine. I can go swim. See what I'm saying? So he gets fired. I got a lot. So then the NFLPA comes out with a statement saying the joint NFL and NFLPA investigation into the application of the concussion protocol involving Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa remains ongoing. Therefore, we have not made any conclusions about medical errors or protocol violations. The NFL and the NFLPA agree that modifications to the concussion protocol are needed to enhance player safety. The NFLPA's Mackey White Health and Safety Committee and the NFL Head, Neck, and Spine Committee have already begun conversations around the use of the term gross motor inability, and we can anticipate changes to the protocol being made in the coming days on what has been learned thus far in the review process. The NFL and the NFLPA share strong appreciation for the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, the UNC, who contributed their time and expertise to our game solely to advance player safety. This program has been made our game safer for the athletes who play in the past 12 seasons. But we had to fire you because something went wrong, and we ain't going to take the blame for it. Something fishy's going on, my guys and girls, because they needed a scapegoat, and they fired that UNC real quick. Again, not affiliated with the Miami Dolphins, affiliated with the NFL and the NFLPA. So there's that, right? And then Mike McDaniel. What is wrong with me? Mike McDaniel came in. He had a few comments to say. I'm going to read some of them. If he would have done anything differently, he said, I have 100% conviction in our process regarding our players. This is a player-friendly organization. There was no medical indication from all sources there was anything regarding his head. And again, that's not Mike McDaniel lying, because they literally had the UNC clear this man 4 days in a row, and then they fired him. Again, not team affiliated. Mike McDaniel added he wouldn't have been able to live with himself if he put Tua on the field prematurely following a head injury. And I agree with that. Mike McDaniel says Tua asked when he can come play again, said he replied, "Stop that right now. Don't even think about a game. Let's worry about you and your head and being a healthy human being. Worry about playing football later." Again, Tua Tagovailoa is a warrior. Tua Tagovailoa loves football, loves the game of football, loves the competition of football. So the fact that he is asking Mike McDaniel, when can I come back? When can I come back? Isn't surprising to me. And again, I said that they will lie. Football players will lie so they can get back on that field, so they can go back and play the game that they love, or so they can, not lose their starting job. Look at Drew Bledsoe. Look at all these guys that lost their starting job because of an injury. NFL, not for long. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tua tried to lie to the UNC and to the doctor and to the Miami Dolphins neurologist, but they are better than that. Like I said, they can pick up on things just by looking you in the eyes. Why do you think they shine the light in your eyes? Is so they can see if your pupils dilate or not. And if they either don't dilate or they dilate after, like it's a slow dilation, there's something going on neurologically in your brain. So I'm not surprised there. And then I have 2 more statements here from so the NFL are expecting to make changes. The joint NFL investigation into the application, blah, blah, blah. I think I already read this one. Yes, I already read this one. But this one comes from J.C. Treader, who is the NFLPA president. He says, "We are all outraged by what we've seen the last several days and scared for the safety of one of our brothers. What everyone saw both Sunday and last night were no-go symptoms within our concussion protocol. The protocol exists to protect the players, and this is why we initiated an investigation. Our job as the NFLPA is to take every possible measure to get the facts and hold those responsible accountable. We need to figure out how and why the decisions were made last Sunday to allow a player with a no-go symptom back on the field. Until we have an objective and validated method of diagnosis brain injury, we have to do everything possible, including amending the protocol to further reduce the potential of human error. A failure in medical judgment is a failure of the protocol. protocols when it comes to the well-being of our players. We have come a long way over the past 15 years, but the last week proves we have left to go. So again, it's what everyone saw. That stumble. That is the no-go symptom. That stumble. But again, Miami Dolphins doctor and the UNC approved him. And then the UNC for 4 straight days approved him. Then they fired him because that UNC made mistakes, several mistakes. And again, the UNC is not, I'm going to keep repeating this because people are misinterpreting and putting blame on the Miami Dolphins organization when that's not where the blame should go. Because if a doctor tells you 4 times that you're good to go, you're going to believe the doctor, especially when he is not affiliated with the team and when he is appointed by the NFL and the NFLPA. The UNC was not affiliated with the team. He was affiliated by the NFL and the NFLPA, and that is why they, like that, fired him. Because they were like, that don't look right. Hey, let's do our investigation. Oh, the Dolphins said actually this, but our guy said this. Oh, crap, it's our guy. We got to fire him. And then we'll continue our investigation. Shouldn't take this long, the investigation. I'm wondering what they're trying to find in this investigation. That being said, right? That's all the information I got for you guys. Now I'm going to give you my opinion of it. That being said, first and foremost, the only thing to me that is important right now is Tua Tagovailoa's health, Tua Tagovailoa's brain, right? Luke Kuechly had multiple concussions, and he decided in his very young career, I'm done, I'm retiring, I don't want to have any brain problems, I'd like to live a long life. Deuces, I'm out. He could have had a Hall of Fame career, but he was like, I'm done. This is more important than getting one of these. Not married, Super Bowl ring. Andrew Luck did the same thing. Look at T. Higgins. T. Higgins was concussed week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then he consistently had head hits, and he had big contacts, but this man was able to play on Thursday, even though the Jets game on Sunday, he took a big hit to the head. There are things that are going on, especially with the NFL, that need to be looked at. And the fact that, again, I'll mention it one more time so people can't say the Dolphins should be to blame. The fact that their own independent neurologist allowed Tua to hit the field after watching him for 4 straight days, and T. Higgins was allowed to hit that field Thursday after taking that big old hit against the Jets, there's something wrong with the NFL. There's something wrong with what they're doing. So to me, all I care about is Tua's health, right? If but Tua's the guy who's like, the doctors are telling me I'm good to go. I want to play football, right? I can do this, or I'm fine, and I want to play. Like Mike McDaniel said, he called him to ask when can I play? When can I play? But he needs to take a step back, and he needs to take a step back and look at what happened. And does he remember what happened? Because sometimes, like, look at what happened to The Undertaker in WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. He doesn't remember. He just woke up in the hospital. And then he said to his wife, what's my name? I want to get out of here. Because he couldn't remember his own flipping name. They don't care. So someone needs to sit down with Tua and be like, look, you had 2 massive either neck, back, or head injuries in the span of 5 days. Because regardless if it was the back, if it was the neck, if it was the head, it's something serious that he needs to take a step back and look at, because the only thing that matters and should matter to him is his health. But then you take a bigger picture, right? This is where the confusion happens. I see this man stumble after whacking the back of his head. I'm like, that's a concussion. But then all of a sudden he comes back because 2 doctors cleared him. Then I'm like, I guess it wasn't a concussion. Doctors know more than me. And then he was cleared 4 days in a row. Doctors know more than me. So it was a back issue. And then I'm telling you guys it's a back issue, because then they wouldn't have cleared him if it wasn't a back issue. And now I'm finding out that the guy who cleared him, making me think it was a back issue, got fired. So was it a back issue? And this is where I am right now. I'd like to see this report, because did he have a concussion, and was there malpractice? That's what I need to know. And that's where I'm at right now. The most important thing out of my long, 20, 30 minute spiel right now is the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is healthy. He has no signs of any damage, and he's in the protocol. So he's not playing against the Jets Sunday. I'll be at that game. It'll be Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson. We'll see. If Teddy struggles, I wouldn't be surprised to put Skylar in there. But Tua's doing good. He wants to play. Let's see how everything else pans out. And that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this long video. I hope you enjoy all the information I got you. Yeah, as soon as I get more information, I'm going to get it for you. Monday, I'm going to do a quarterly review, and I'm going to give you my assessment of Tua Tagovailoa. Can he be a franchise quarterback? I told you guys when the season started, I'm giving him 4 to 5 weeks to see if he can be the guy that we can build around and continue to build around. So, yeah, I'll see you guys Monday. Other than that, like usual, stay classy. Events up.